Hello everyone. Question is a company wants to migrate to AWS and use the security software it uses on premises. The security software vendor offers its security software as a service on AWS. Where can the company purchase the security solution? Option A, AWS Partner Solutions Finder. Option B, AWS Support Center. Option C, AWS Management Console. Option D, AWS Marketplace. Correct answer is option D. Question is a company has deployed an Amazon EC2 instance. Which option is an AWS responsibility under the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, managing and encrypting application data. Option B, installing updates and security patches of guest operating system. Option C, configuration of infrastructure devices. Option D, configuration of security groups on each instance. Correct answer is option C. Question is a company wants to migrate its PostgreSQL database to AWS. The company does not use the database frequently. Which AWS service or resource will meet these requirements with the least management overhead? Option A, PostgreSQL on Amazon EC2. Option B, Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL. Option C, Amazon Aurora PostgreSQL Compatible Edition. Option D, Amazon Aurora Serverless. Correct answer is option D. Question is which AWS service can a company use to visually design and build serverless applications? Option A, AWS Lambda. Option B, AWS Batch. Option C, AWS Application Composer. Option D, AWS App Runner. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is a company is using Amazon DynamoDB for its application database. Which tasks are the responsibility of AWS according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. Option A, classify data. Option B, configure access permissions. Option C, manage encryption options. Option D, provide public endpoints to store and retrieve data. Option E, manage the infrastructure layer and the operating system. Correct answer is option D and option E. Question is which maintenance task is the customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, physical connectivity among availability zones. Option B, network switch maintenance. Option C, hardware updates and firmware patches. Option D, Amazon EC2 updates and security patches. Correct answer is option D. Question is a company wants to improve its security posture by reviewing user activity through API calls. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A, AWS WAF. Option B, Amazon Detective. Option C, Amazon Cloud Watch. Option D, AWS Cloud Trail. Correct answer is option D. Question is a company is migrating to the AWS cloud and plans to run experimental workloads for 3 to 6 months on AWS. Which pricing model will meet these requirements? Option A, use savings plan for a 3-year term. Option B, use dedicated hosts. Option C. Buy reserved instances. Option D. Use on-demand instances. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company that has AWS Enterprise support is launching a new version of a popular product in 2 months. The company expects a large increase in traffic to its website. The website is hosted on Amazon EC2 instances. Which actions should the company take to assess its readiness to scale for this launch? Option A. Replace the EC2 instances with AWS Lambda functions. Option B. Use AWS Infrastructure Event Management IEM support. Option C. Submit a request on AWS Marketplace to monitor the event. Option D. Review the coverage reports in the AWS Cost Management console. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to launch multiple workloads on AWS. Each workload is related to a different business unit. The company wants to separate and track cost for each business unit. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? Option A. Use AWS organizations and create one account for each business unit. Option B. Use a spreadsheet to control the owners and cost of each resource. Option C. Use an Amazon DynamoDB table to record cost for each business unit. Option D. Use the AWS billing console to assign owners to resources and track costs. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company wants a time series database service that makes it easier to store and analyze trillions of events each day. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A. Amazon Neptune. Option B. Amazon Time Stream. Option C. Amazon Forecast. Option D. Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, which option is shared control between AWS and the customer according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A. Configuration management. Option B. Physical and environmental controls. Option C. Data integrity authentication. Option D. Identity and access management. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company often does not use all of its current Amazon EC2 capacity to run stateless workloads. The company wants to optimize its EC2 costs. Which EC2 instance type will meet these requirements? Option A. Spot instances. Option B. Dedicated instances. Option C. Reserved instances. Option D. On-demand instances. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company wants to store data in Amazon S3. The company rarely accesses the data, and the data can be regenerated if necessary. The company wants to store the data in the most cost-effective storage class. Which S3 storage class will meet this requirement? Option A. S3 Standard. Option B. S3 Intelligent Tiering. Option C S3 standard infrequent access S3 standard IA. Option D S3 one zone infrequent access S3 one zone IA. Correct answer is option D. Question is a company has migrated its workloads to AWS. The company wants to adopt AWS at scale and operate more efficiently and securely. Which AWS service or framework should the company use for operational support? Option A AWS support. Option B AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF. Option C AWS Managed Services AMS. Option D AWS Well Architected Framework. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is a company wants to provision and manage its AWS infrastructure by using the common programming languages TypeScript, Python, Java, and .NET. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A AWS Code Build. Option B AWS Cloud Formation. Option C AWS CLI. Option D AWS Cloud Development Team AWS CDK. Correct answer is option A. Question is which Amazon EC2 pricing model provides the most cost savings for an always up right-sized database server running for a project that will last 1 year? Option A on-demand instances. Option B convertible reserved instances. Option C spot instances. Option D standard reserved instances. Correct answer is option B. Question is a company has a physical tape library to store data backups. The tape library is running out of space. The company needs to extend the tape library's capacity to the AWS cloud. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A Amazon Elastic File System Amazon EFS. Option B Amazon Elastic Block Store Amazon EBS. Option C Amazon S3. Option D AWS Storage Gateway. Correct answer is option D. Question is a company is using the AWS free tier for several AWS services for an application. What will happen if the free tier uses period expires or if the application use exceeds the free tier uses limits? Option A the company will be charged the standard pay-as-you-go service rates for the users that exceeds the free tier uses. Option B AWS support will contact the company to set up standard service charges. Option C the company will be charged for the services it consumed during the free tier period plus additional charges for service consumption after the free tier period. Option D the company's AWS account will be frozen and can be restarted after a payment plan is established. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is a company wants to monitor its workload performance. The company wants to ensure that the cloud services are delivered at a level that meets its business needs. Which AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF perspective will meet these requirements? Option A Business. Option B Governance. Option C Platform. Option D. Operations. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company wants to migrate its applications to the AWS cloud. The company plans to identify and prioritize any business transformation opportunities and evaluate its AWS cloud readiness. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Cloud Adoption Framework (AWS CAF). Option B. AWS Managed Services (AMS). Option C. AWS Well-Architected Framework. Option D. AWS Migration Hub. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company needs an AWS service that provides a clear baseline of what the company runs in its on-premises data centers. The company needs the projected cost to run its on-premises workloads in the AWS cloud. What AWS service or tool will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Compute Optimizer. Option B. AWS Cost Explorer. Option C. AWS Systems Manager Agent (SSM) Agent. Option D. Migration Evaluator. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company acquired another corporation. The company now has two AWS accounts. Which AWS service or tool can the company use to consolidate the billing for these two accounts? Option A. AWS Systems Manager. Option B. AWS Organizations. Option C. AWS License Manager. Option D. Cost Explorer. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company wants to set up its workloads to perform their intended functions and recover quickly from failure. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework aligns with these goals? Option A. Performance efficiency. Option B. Sustainability. Option C. Reliability. Option D. Security. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which of the following is managed AWS service that is used specifically for extract, transform, and load ETL data? Option A. Amazon Athena. Option B. AWS Glue. Option C. Amazon S3. Option D. AWS Snowball Edge. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to migrate petabytes of data from its on-premises data centers to AWS. The company does not want to use an internet connection to perform the migration. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Data Sync. Option B. Amazon Connect. Option C. AWS Snow Mobile. Option D. AWS Direct Connect. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company wants to receive alerts to monitor its overall operating cost for its AWS public cloud infrastructure. Which AWS offering will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon Event Bridge. Option B. Compute Savings Plans. Option C. AWS Budgets. Option D. Migration Evaluator. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, how does the AWS Enterprise Support Concierge team help users? Option A, supporting application development. Option B, providing architecture guidance. Option C, answering billing and account inquiries. Option D, answering questions regarding technical support cases. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company wants to run a simulation for 3 years without interruptions. Which Amazon EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, spot instances. Option B, reserved instances. Option C, dedicated hosts. Option D, on-demand instances. Correct answer is option D. Question is, which AWS service or resource can provide discounts on some AWS service cost in exchange for a spending commitment? Option A, Amazon Detective. Option B, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option C, Savings Plans. Option D, Basic Support. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which of the following are pillars of the AWS well-architected framework? Choose two options. Option A, high availability. Option B, performance efficiency. Option C, cost optimization. Option D, going global in minutes. Option E, continuous development. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company wants to use Amazon EC2 instances to provide a static website to users all over the world. The company needs to minimize latency for the users. Which solution meets these requirements? Option A, use EC2 instances in multiple edge locations. Option B, use EC2 instances in the same availability zone but in different AWS regions. Option C, use Amazon CloudFront with the EC2 instances configured as the source. Option D, use EC2 instances in the same availability zone but in different AWS accounts. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a team of researchers is going to collect data at remote locations around the world. Many locations do not have internet connectivity. The team needs to capture the data in the field and transfer it to the AWS cloud later. Which AWS service will support these requirements? Option A, AWS Outposts. Option B, AWS Transfer Family. Option C, AWS Snow Family. Option D, AWS Migration Hub. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which of the following are benefits that a company receives when it moves an on-premises production workload to AWS? Choose two options. Option A, AWS trains the company's staff on the use of all the AWS services. Option B, AWS manages all security in the cloud. Option C, AWS offers free support from technical account managers (TAMs). Option D, AWS offers high availability. Option E, AWS provides economies of scale. Correct answer is option C and option E. Question is a company has decided to adopt Amazon EC2 infrastructure and wants to scale various stateless services for short-term users. Which is EC2 pricing model is most cost efficient to meet these requirements? Option A spot instances. Option B on-demand instances. Option C reserved instances. Option D dedicated hosts. Correct answer is option A. Question is which of the following are benefits of AWS Trusted Advisor? Choose two options. Option A access to Amazon Simple Queue Service Amazon SQS. Option B cost optimization recommendations. Option C early refresh of the service limit checks. Option D security checks. Option E AWS Identity and Access Management IAM Approval Management. Correct answer is option B and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is a company wants to save cost by archiving data that is no longer frequently accessed by the end users. Which Amazon S3 feature will meet this requirement? Option A S3 versioning. Option B S3 lifecycle. Option C S3 object lock. Option D S3 inventory. Correct answer is option C. Question is which cloud computing advantage is a company applying when it uses AWS regions to increase application availability to users in different countries? Option A pay as you go pricing. Option B capacity forecasting. Option C economies of scale. Option D global reach. Correct answer is option C. Question is a company wants an AWS service to collect and process 10 TB of data locally and transfer the data to AWS. The company has intermittent connectivity. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A AWS Database Migration Service AWS DMS. Option B AWS Data Sync. Option C AWS Backup. Option D AWS Snowball Edge. Correct answer is option B. Question is which of the following is an AWS well-architected framework design principle for operational excellence in the AWS cloud? Option A go global in minutes. Option B make frequent small reversible changes. Option C implement a strong foundation of identity and access management. Option D stop sending money on hardware infrastructure for data center operations. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is an external auditor has requested that a company provide a list of all its IAM users, including the status of users' credentials and access keys. What is the simplest way to provide this information? Option A create an IAM user for the auditor, granting the auditor administrator permissions. Option B take a screenshot of each user's page in the AWS Management Console, then provide the screenshots to the auditor. Option C download the IAM credential report, then provide the report to the auditor. Option D. Download the AWS Trusted Advisor report, then provide the report to the auditor. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which capabilities are in the platform perspective of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF? Choose two options. Option A. Performance and capacity management. Option B. Data engineering. Option C. Continuous integration and continuous delivery CI/CD. Option D. Infrastructure protection. Option E. Change and release management. Correct answer is option A and option B. Question is, who is responsible for managing IAM user access and secret keys according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A. IAM access and secret keys are static, so there is no need to rotate them. Option B. The customer is responsible for rotating keys. Option C. AWS will rotate the keys whenever required. Option D. The AWS support team will rotate keys when requested by the customer. Correct answer is option D. Question is, an Amazon EC2 instance previously used for development is inaccessible and no longer appear in the AWS Management Console. Which AWS service should be used to determine what action made this EC2 instance inaccessible? Option A. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. Option B. AWS Security Hub. Option C. Amazon Inspector. Option D. AWS Cloud Trail. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, which AWS cloud deployment model uses AWS Outposts as part of the application deployment infrastructure? Option A. On-premises. Option B. Serverless. Option C. Cloud native. Option D. Hybrid. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to provide access to Windows file shares in AWS from its on-premises workloads. The company does not want to provision any additional infrastructure or application in its data center. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon FSx File Gateway. Option B. AWS Data Sync. Option C. Amazon S3. Option D. AWS Snow Family. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company needs a fully managed file server that natively supports Microsoft workloads and file systems. The file server must also support the SMB protocol. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. Option B. Amazon FSx for Lustri. Option C. Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. Option D. Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is designing its AWS workloads so that components can be updated regularly and so that changes can be made in small reversible increments. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this design support? Option A. Security. Option B, performance efficiency. Option C, operational excellence. Option D, reliability. Correct answer is option D. Question is, which architecture concept describes the ability to deploy resources on demand and release resources when they are no longer needed? Option A, high availability. Option B, decoupled architecture. Option C, resilience. Option D, elasticity. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which benefit is included with an AWS Enterprise Support Plan? Option A, AWS Partner Network APN support at no cost. Option B, designated support from an AWS Technical Account Manager TAM. Option C, on-site support from AWS engineers. Option D, AWS managed compliance as code with AWS config. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company's user base needs to remotely access virtual desktop computers from the internet. Which AWS service provides this functionality? Option A, Amazon Connect. Option B, Amazon Cognito. Option C, Amazon Workspaces. Option D, Amazon Upstream 2.0. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company has two AWS accounts in an organization in AWS organizations for consolidated billing. All of the company's AWS resources are hosted in one AWS region. Account A has purchased 5 Amazon EC2 standard reserved instances RIs and has 4 EC2 instances running. Account B has not purchased any RIs and also has 4 EC2 instances running. Which statement is true regarding pricing for these 8 instances? Option A, the 8 instances will be charged as regular instances. Option B, 4 instances will be charged as RIs and 4 will be charged as regular instances. Option C, 5 instances will be charged as RIs and 3 will be charged as regular instances. Option D, the 8 instances will be charged as RIs. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company has been storing monthly reports in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company exports the report data into comma-separated values in .csv files. A developer wants to write a simple query that can read all of these files and generate a summary report. Which AWS service or features should the developer use to meet these requirements with the least amount of operational overhead? Option A, Amazon S3 Select. Option B, Amazon Athena. Option C, Amazon Redshift. Option D, Amazon EC2. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which task is a customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, management of the guest operating systems. Option B, maintenance of the configuration of infrastructure devices. Option C, management of the host operating systems and virtualization. Option D, maintenance of the software that powers availability zones. A company has defined its workload to use specific AWS services to improve efficiency and reduce cost. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is running applications on Amazon EC2 instances in the same AWS account for several different projects. The company wants to track the infrastructure cost for each of the projects separately. The company must conduct this tracking with the least possible impact to the existing infrastructure and with no additional cost. What should the company do to meet these requirements? Option A, use a different EC2 instance type for each project. Option B, publish project-specific custom Amazon CloudWatch metrics for each application. Option C, deploy EC2 instances for each project in a separate AWS account. Option D, use cost allocation tags with values that are specific to each project. Correct answer is option D. Question is, which of the following is recommended design principle of the AWS well-architected framework? Option A, reduce downtime by making infrastructure changes infrequently and in large increments. Option B, invest the time to configure infrastructure manually. Option C, learn to improve from operational failures. Option D, use monolithic application design for centralization. Correct answer is option C. Question is, which of the following is a characteristic of the AWS account root user? Option A, the root user is the only user that can be configured with multi-factor authentication MFA. Option B, the root user is the only user that can access the AWS Management Console. Option C, the root user is the first sign-in identity that is available when an AWS account is created. Option D, the root user has a password that cannot be changed. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company wants to manage access and permissions for its third-party software as a service SaaS applications. The company wants to use a portal where end users can access assigned AWS accounts and AWS cloud applications. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon Cognito. Option B, AWS IAM Identity Center AWS Single Sign-On. Option C, AWS Identity and Access Management IAM. Option D, AWS Directory Service for Microsoft Active Directory. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company is migrating an application that includes an Oracle database to AWS. The company cannot rewrite the application. To which AWS service could the company migrate the database? Option A, Amazon Athena. Option B, Amazon DynamoDB. Option C, Amazon RDS. Option D, Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company is using AWS Lambda functions to build an application. Which tasks are the company's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Choose two options. Option A, patch the servers where the Lambda functions are deployed. Option B, establish the IAM permissions that define who can run the Lambda functions. Option C, write the code for the Lambda functions to define the application logic. Option D, deploy Amazon EC2 instances to support the Lambda functions. Option E, scale out the Lambda functions when the load increases. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company needs to test a new application that was written in Python. The code will activate when new images are stored in an Amazon S3 bucket. The application will put a watermark on each image and then will store the images in a different S3 bucket. Which AWS service should the company use to conduct the test with the least amount of operational overhead? Option A, Amazon EC2. Option B, AWS Code Deploy. Option C, AWS Lambda. Option D, Amazon Light Sail. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company's information security manager is supervising a move to AWS and wants to ensure that AWS best practices are followed. The manager has concerns about the potential misuse of AWS account root user credentials. Which of the following is an AWS best practice for using the AWS account root user credentials? Option A, allow only the manager to use the account root user credentials for normal activities. Option B, use the account root user credentials for only for Amazon EC2 instances from the AWS free tier. Option C, use the account root user credentials only when they alone must be used to perform a required function. Option D, use the account root user credentials only for the creation of private VPC subnets. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company moves its infrastructure from on-premises to the AWS cloud. The company can now provision additional Amazon EC2 instances whenever the instances are required. With this ability, the company can launch new marketing campaigns in 3 days instead of 3 weeks. Which benefit of the AWS cloud does this scenario demonstrate? Option A, cost savings. Option B, improved operational resilience. Option C, increased business agility. Option D, enhanced security. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company plans to migrate its on-premises workload to AWS. Before the migration, the company needs to estimate its future AWS service costs. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option B, AWS Budgets. Option C, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option D, AWS Cost Explorer. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company wants its Amazon EC2 instances to share the same geographic area but use redundant underlying power sources. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A, use EC2 instances across multiple availability zones in the same AWS region. Option B, use Amazon CloudFront as the database for the EC2 instances. Option C, use EC2 instances in the same edge location and the same availability zone. Option D, use EC2 instances in AWS OpsWorks stacks in different AWS regions. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company has multiple AWS accounts that include compute workloads that cannot be interrupted. The company wants to obtain billing discounts that are based on the company's use of AWS services. Which AWS feature or purchasing option will meet these requirements? Option A, resource tagging. Option B, consolidated billing. Option C, pay-as-you-go pricing. Option D, spot instances. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to implement controls guardrails in a newly created AWS control tower landing zone. Which AWS services or features can the company use to create and define these controls or guardrails? Select two options. Option A, AWS config. Option B, service control policies SCPs. Option C, Amazon guard duty. Option D, AWS identity and access management IAM. Option E, security groups. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which of the following is the customer's responsibility according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A, identity and access management. Option B, hard drive initialization. Option C, protection of data center hardware. Option D, security of availability zones. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which design principles should a company applies to AWS cloud workloads to maximize sustainability and minimize environmental impact? Select two options. Option A, maximize utilization of Amazon EC2 instances. Option B, minimize utilization of Amazon EC2 instances. Option C, minimize uses of managed services. Option D, force frequent application reinstallations by users. Option E, reduce the need for users to reinstall applications. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company is running an order processing system on Amazon EC2 instances. The company wants to migrate microservices-based applications. Which combination of AWS services can the application use to meet these requirements? Select two options. Option A, Amazon Simple Queue Service Amazon SQS. Option B, AWS Lambda. Option C, AWS Migration Hub. Option D, AWS App Sync. Option E, AWS Application Migration Service. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company needs to host a web server on Amazon EC2 instances for at least 1 year. The web server cannot tolerate interruption. Which EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A, on-demand instances. Option B, partial upfront reserved instances. Option C, spot instances. Option D, no upfront reserved instances. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, which AWS service is designed to help users orchestrate a workflow process for a set of AWS Lambda functions? Option A, Amazon DynamoDB. Option B, AWS Code Pipeline. Option C, AWS Batch. Option D, AWS Step Functions. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company wants to securely store Amazon RDS database credentials and automatically rotate user password periodically. Which AWS service or capability will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon S3. Option B, AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store. Option C, AWS Secrets Manager. Option D. AWS Cloud Trail. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company is reviewing the design of an application that will be migrated from on-premises to a single Amazon EC2 instance. What should the company do to make the application highly available? Option A. Provision additional EC2 instances in other availability zones. Option B. Configure an application load balancer ALB. Assign the EC2 instance as the ALB's target. Option C. Use an Amazon Machine Image AMI to create the EC2 instance. Option D. Provision the application by using an EC2 spot instance. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which service is an AWS in-memory data store service? Option A. Amazon Aurora. Option B. Amazon RDS. Option C. Amazon DynamoDB. Option D. Amazon Elasticase. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company is running workloads for multiple departments within a single VPC. The company needs to be able to bill each department for its resource uses. Which action should the company take to accomplish this goal with the least operational overhead? Option A. Add a department tag to each resource and configure cost allocation tags. Option B. Move each department resource to its own VPC. Option C. Move each department resource to its own AWS account. Option D. Use AWS organizations to get a billing report for each department. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a manufacturing company has a critical application that runs at a remote site that has a slow internet connection. The company wants to migrate the workload to AWS. The application is sensitive to latency and interruptions in connectivity. The company wants a solution that can host this application with minimum latency. Which AWS service or features should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. Availability zones. Option B. AWS local zones. Option C. AWS wavelength. Option D. AWS outposts. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company is using Amazon RDS. A company is launching a critical business application in an AWS region. How can the company increase resilience for this application? Option A. Deploy a copy of the application in another AWS account. Option B. Deploy the application by using multiple VPCs. Option C. Deploy the application by using multiple subnets. Option D. Deploy the application by using multiple availability zones. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, what is an AWS responsibility under the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A. Configure the security group rules that determine which ports are open on an Amazon EC2 Linux instance. Option B. Ensure the security of the internal network in the AWS data centers. Option C. Patch the guest operating system with the latest security patches on Amazon EC2. Option D. Turn on server-side encryption for Amazon S3 buckets. A company wants to deploy its critical application on AWS and maintain high availability. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which actions are examples of a company's effort to right-size its AWS resources to control cloud costs? Select two options. Option A, switch from Amazon RDS to Amazon DynamoDB to accommodate NoSQL datasets. Option B, base the selection of Amazon EC2 instance types on past utilization patterns. Option C, use Amazon S3 lifecycle policies to move objects that users access infrequently to lower cost storage tiers. Option D, use multi-AZ deployments for Amazon RDS. Option E, replace existing Amazon EC2 instances with AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which AWS service or tool provides on-demand access to AWS security and compliance reports and AWS online agreements? Option A, AWS Artifact. Option B, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option C, Amazon Inspector. Option D, AWS Billing Console. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is setting up AWS Identity and Access Management IAM on an AWS account. Which recommendation complies with IAM security best practices? Option A, use the account root user access keys for administrative tasks. Option B, grant broad permissions so that all company employees can access the resources they need. Option C, turn on multi-factor authentication MFA for added security during the login process. Option D, avoid rotating credentials to prevent issues in production applications. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company provides a web-based e-commerce service that runs in two availability zones within a single AWS region. The web service distributes content that is stored in the Amazon S3 standard storage class. The company wants to improve the web service's performance globally. What should the company do to meet this requirement? Option A, change the S3 storage class to S3 intelligent tiering. Option B, deploy an Amazon CloudFront distribution to cache web server content in edge locations. Option C, use Amazon API Gateway for the web service. Option D, migrate the website e-commerce servers to Amazon EC2 with enhanced networking. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company is collecting user behavior patterns to identify how to meet goals for sustainability impact. Which guidelines are best practices for the company to implement to meet these goals? Select two options. Option A, scale infrastructure with user load. Option B, maximize the geographic distance between workloads and user location. Option C, eliminate creation and maintenance of unused assets. Option D, scale resources with access capacity and remove auto-scaling. Option E, scale infrastructure based on the number of users. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company has set up a VPC in its AWS account and has created a subnet in the VPC. The company wants to make the subnet public. Which AWS features should the company use to meet this requirement? Select two options. Option A, Amazon VPC Internet Gateway. Option B, Amazon VPC NAT Gateway. Option C, Amazon VPC Route Tables. Option D, Amazon VPC Network ACL. Option E, Amazon EC2 Security Groups. Correct answer is option A. Question is, an auditor is preparing for an annual security audit. The auditor requests certification details for a company's AWS hosted resources across multiple availability zones in the US East 1 region. How should the company respond to the auditor's request? Option A, open an AWS support ticket to request that the AWS Technical Account Manager TAM respond and help the auditor. Option B, open an AWS support ticket to request that the auditor receive approval to conduct an on-site assessment of the AWS data centers in which the company operates. Option C, explain to the auditor that AWS does not need to be audited because the company's application is hosted in multiple availability zones. Option D, use AWS Artifact to download the applicable report for AWS security controls. Provide the report to the auditor. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is launching a mobile app. The company wants customers to be able to use the app without upgrading their mobile devices. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this goal represent? Option A, security. Option B, reliability. Option C, cost optimization. Option D, sustainability. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company's headquarters is located on a different continent from where the majority of the company's customers live. The company wants an AWS cloud environment set up that will provide the lowest latency to the customers. A company wants to automate the creation of new AWS accounts and automatically prevent all users from creating Amazon EC2 instances. Which AWS service provides this functionality? Option A, AWS Service Catalog. Option B, AWS Organizations. Option C, EC2 Image Builder. Option D, AWS Systems Manager. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which of the following actions are controlled with AWS Identity and Access Management IAM? Select two options. Option A, control access to AWS service APIs and to other specific resources. Option B, provide intelligent threat detection and continuous monitoring. Option C, protect the AWS environment using multi-factor authentication MFA. Option D, grant users access to AWS data centers. Option E, provide firewall protection for applications from common wave attacks. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company is migrating its data center to AWS. The company needs an AWS support plan that provides chat access to a cloud sub-engineer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The company does not require access to infrastructure event management. What is the most cost-effective AWS support plan that meets these requirements? Option A, AWS Enterprise Support. Option B, AWS Business Support. Option C, AWS Developer Support. Option D, AWS Basic Support. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company's IT team is managing MySQL database server clusters. The IT team has to patch the database and take backup snapshots of the data in the clusters. The company wants to move this workload to AWS so that these tasks will be completed automatically. What should the company do to meet these requirements? Option A, deploy MySQL database server clusters on Amazon EC2 instances. Option B, use Amazon RDS with a MySQL database. Option C, use an AWS CloudFormation template to deploy MySQL database servers on Amazon EC2 instances. Option D, migrate all the MySQL database data to Amazon S3. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to migrate its server-based applications to the AWS cloud. The company wants to determine the total cost of ownership for its compute resources that will be hosted on the AWS cloud. Which combination of AWS services or tools will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option B, Migration Evaluator. Option C, AWS Support Center. Option D, AWS Application Discovery Service. Option E, AWS Database Migration Service, AWS DMS. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company processes personally identifiable information PII and must keep data in the country where it was generated. The company wants to use Amazon EC2 instances for these workloads. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Outposts. Option B, AWS Storage Gateway. Option C, AWS Data Sync. Option D, AWS OpsWorks. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which tasks are the responsibility of the customer according to the AWS shared responsibility model? Select two options. Option A, patch the Amazon RDS operating system. Option B, upgrade the firmware of the network infrastructure. Option C, manage data encryption. Option D, maintain physical access control in an AWS region. Option E, grant least privilege access to IAM users. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company wants to launch its web applications in a second AWS region. The company needs to determine which services must be regionally configured for this launch. Which AWS services can be configured at the region level? Select two options. Option A, Amazon EC2. Option B, Amazon Route 53. Option C, Amazon CloudFront. Option D, AWS WAF. Option E, Amazon DynamoDB. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company is planning to migrate to the AWS cloud. The company is conducting organizational transformation and wants to become more responsive to customer inquiries and feedback. Which tasks should the company perform to meet these requirements according to the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF. Select two options. Option A. Realign teams to focus on products and value streams. Option B. Create new value propositions with new products and services. Option C. Use agile methods to rapidly iterate and evolve. Option D. Use a new data and analytics platform to create actionable insights. Option E. Migrate and modernize legacy infrastructure. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company has set up a VPC on AWS. The company needs a dedicated connection between the VPC and the company's on-premises network. Which actions should the company take to meet this requirement? Option A. Establish a VPN connection between the VPC and the company's on-premises network. Option B. Establish an AWS Direct Connect connection between the VPC and the company's on-premises network. Option C. Attach an integrated gateway to the VPC. Use the AWS public endpoints for connectivity. Option D. Configure Amazon Connect to provide connectivity between the VPC and the company's on-premises network. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company needs to run some of its workloads on premises to comply with regulatory guidelines. The company wants to use the AWS cloud to run workloads that are not required to be on premises. The company also wants to be able to use the same API calls for the on-premises workloads and the cloud workloads. Which AWS service or features should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. Dedicated hosts. Option B. AWS outposts. Option C. Availability zones. Option D. AWS wavelength. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is using a central data platform to manage multiple types of data for its customers. The company wants to use AWS services to discover, transform, and visualize the data. Which combination of AWS services should the company use to meet these requirements? Select two options. Option A. AWS Glue. Option B. Amazon Elastic File System Amazon EFS. Option C. Amazon Redshift. Option D. Amazon QuickSight. Option E. Amazon Quantum Ledger Database Amazon QLDB. Correct answer is option E. Question is, a company wants to use guidelines from the AWS well-architected framework to limit human error and facilitate consistent responses to events. Which of the following is a well-architected design principle that will meet these requirements? Option A. Use AWS code deploy. Option B. Perform operations as code. Option C. Migrate workloads to a dedicated host. Option D. Use AWS Compute Optimizer. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to ensure that all of its Amazon EC2 instances have compliant operating system patches. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Compute Optimizer. Option B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C. AWS App Sync. Option D. AWS Systems Manager. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company wants to integrate natural language processing NLP into business intelligence BI dashboards. The company wants to ask questions and receive answers with relevant visualizations. Which AWS service or tool will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon Messi. Option B, Amazon Recognition. Option C, Amazon QuickSight Q. Option D, Amazon Lex. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, an e-commerce company wants to provide relevant product recommendations to its customers. The recommendations will include products that are frequently purchased with other products that the customer already purchased. The recommendations also will include products of a specific color and products from the customer's favorite brand. Which AWS service or features should the company use to meet these requirements with the least development effort? Option A, Amazon Comprehend. Option B, Amazon Forecast. Option C, Amazon Personalize. Option D, Amazon SageMaker Studio. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company has a large number of Linux Amazon EC2 instances across several availability zones in an AWS region. Applications that run on the EC2 instances need access to a common set of files. Which AWS service or device should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, AWS Backup. Option B, Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. Option C, Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS. Option D, AWS Snowball Edge Storage Optimized. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company has designed its AWS cloud infrastructure to run its workloads effectively. The company also has protocols in place to continuously improve supporting processes. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework does this scenario represent? Option A, security. Option B, performance efficiency. Option C, cost optimization. Option D, operational excellence. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which AWS cloud benefit describes the ability to acquire resources as they are needed and release resources when they are no longer needed? Option A, economies of scale. Option B, elasticity. Option C, agility. Option D, security. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company has a MySQL database running on a single Amazon EC2 instance. The company now requires higher availability in the event of an outage. Which set of tasks would meet this requirement? Option A, add an application load balancer in front of the EC2 instance. Option B, configure EC2 auto recovery to move the instance to another availability zone. Option C, migrate to AWS RDS and enable multi-AZ. Option D, enable termination protection for the EC2 instance to avoid outages. Correct answer is option C. Question is, which actions are best practices for an AWS account root user? Select two options. Option A, share root user credentials with team members. Option B, create multiple root users for the account separated by environment. Option C. Enable multi-factor authentication MFA on the root user. Option D. Create an IAM user with administrative privileges for daily administrative tasks instead of using the root user. Use programmatic access instead of the root user and password. Correct answer is option C and option D. Question is, a company plans to migrate to AWS Cloud. The company wants to use the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF to define and track business outcomes as part of its cloud transformation journey. Which AWS CAF governance perspective capability will meet these requirements? Option A. Benefits management. Option B. Risk management. Option C. Application portfolio management. Option D. Cloud financial management. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company is moving an on-premises data center to the AWS cloud. The company must migrate 50 petabytes of file storage data to AWS with the least possible operational overhead. Which AWS service or resource should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Snowmobile. Option B. AWS Snowball Edge. Option C. AWS Data Exchange. Option D. AWS Database Migration Service AWS DMS. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company wants to migrate a database from an on-premises environment to Amazon RDS. After the migration is complete, which management task will the company still be responsible for? Option A. Hardware lifecycle management. Option B. Application optimization. Option C. Server maintenance. Option D. Power, network and cooling provisioning. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company has a centralized group of users with a large file storage requirements that have exceeded the space available on premises. The company wants to extend its file storage capabilities for this group while retaining the performance benefits of sharing content locally. What is the most operationally efficient AWS solution for this scenario? Option A. Create an Amazon S3 bucket for each user. Mount each bucket by using an S3 file system mounting utility. Option B. Configure and deploy an AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Option C. Move each user's working environment to Amazon Workspaces. Set up an Amazon WorkDocs account for each user. Option D. Deploy an Amazon EC2 instance and attach an Amazon Elastic Block Store Amazon EBS provisioned IOPS volume. Share the EBS volume directly with the users. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a developer wants to deploy an application quickly on AWS without manually creating the required resources. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon EC2. Option B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C. AWS Code Build. Option D. Amazon Personalize. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company is running a monolithic on-premises application that does not scale and is difficult to maintain. The company has a plan to migrate the application to AWS and divide the application into microservices. Which best practice of the AWS well-architected framework is the company following with this plan? Option A. Integrate functional testing as part of AWS deployment. Option B. Use automation to deploy changes. Option C. Deploy the application to multiple locations. Option D. Implement loosely coupled dependencies. Correct answer is option D. Question is, an e-commerce company has migrated its IT infrastructure from an on-premises data center to the AWS cloud. Which cost is the company's direct responsibility? Option A. Cost of application software licenses. Option B. Cost of the hardware infrastructure on AWS. Option C. Cost of power for the AWS servers. Option D. Cost of physical security for the AWS data center. Correct answer is option A. Question is, a company wants to migrate its on-premises relational databases to the AWS cloud. The company wants to use infrastructure as close to its current geographical location as possible. Which AWS service or resource should the company use to select its Amazon RDS deployment area? Option A. Amazon Connect. Option B. AWS Wavelength. Option C. AWS Regions. Option D. AWS Direct Connect. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company is developing an application that uses multiple AWS services. The application needs to use temporary limited privilege credentials for authentication with other AWS APIs. Which AWS service or features should the company use to meet these authentication requirements? You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Now the options are: option A. Amazon API Gateway. Option B. IAM Users. Option C. AWS Security Token Service AWS STS. Option D. IAM Instance Profiles. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company has a test AWS environment. A company is planning on testing an application within AWS. The application testing can be interrupted and does not need to run continuously. Which Amazon EC2 purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost effectively? Option A. On-demand instances. Option B. Dedicated instances. Option C. Spot instances. Option D. Reserved instances. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company is deploying a machine learning ML research project that will require a lot of compute power over several months. The ML processing jobs do not need to run at specific times. Which Amazon EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements at the lowest cost? Option A. On-demand instances. Option B. Spot instances. Option C. Reserved instances. Option D. Dedicated instances. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which of the following are advantages of moving to the AWS cloud? Choose two options. Option A. The ability to turn over the responsibility for all security to AWS. Option B. The ability to use the pay-as-you-go model. Option C. The ability to have full control over the physical infrastructure. Option D. No longer having to guess what capacity will be required. Option E. No longer worrying about users' access controls. Correct answer is option B and option D. Question is, how does AWS cloud computing help businesses reduce costs? Choose two options. Option A. AWS charges the same prices for services in every AWS region. Option B. AWS enables capacity to be adjusted on demand. Option C. AWS offers discounts for Amazon EC2 instances that remain idle for more than 1 week. Option B. AWS does not charge for data sent from the AWS cloud to the internet. Option E. AWS eliminates many of the cost of building and maintaining on-premises data centers. Correct answer is option B and option E. Question is, a company wants an automated process to continuously scan its Amazon EC2 instances for software vulnerabilities. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon Guard Duty. Option B. Amazon Inspector. Option C. Amazon Detective. Option D. Amazon Cognito. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to store and retrieve files in Amazon S3 for its existing on-premises application by using industry standard file system protocols. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Data Sync. Option B. AWS Snowball Edge. Option C. Amazon S3 File Gateway. Option D. AWS Transfer Family. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company wants to migrate its on-premises workloads to the AWS cloud. The company wants to separate workloads for chargeback to different departments. Which AWS services or features will meet these requirements? Choose two options. Option A. Placement groups. Option B. Consolidated billing. Option C. Edge locations. Option D. AWS config. Option E. Multiple AWS accounts. Correct answer is option B and option E. Question is, a company's plan to migrate to the AWS cloud. The company wants to use the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework AWS CAF to define and track business outcomes as part of its cloud transformation journey. Which AWS CAF governance perspective capability will meet these requirements? Option A. Benefits management. Option B. Risk management. Option C. Application portfolio management. Option D. Cloud financial management. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which action is a security best practice for access to sensitive data that is stored in an Amazon S3 bucket? Option A. Enable S3 cross-region replication CRR on the S3 bucket. Option B. Use IAM rules for applications that require access to the S3 bucket. Option C. Configure AWS WAF to prevent unauthorized access to the S3 bucket. Option D. Configure Amazon Guard Duty to prevent unauthorized access to the S3 bucket. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company needs a central user portal so that users can log in to third-party business applications that support security assertion markup language SAML 2.0. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A. AWS Identity and Access Management IAM. Option B. Amazon Cognito. Option C. AWS IAM Identity Center AWS Single Sign-On. Option D. AWS CLI. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company is building an application that requires the ability to send, store and receive messages between application components. The company has another requirement to process messages in, first out FIFO order. Which AWS service should the company use? Option A. AWS Step Functions. Option B. Amazon Simple Notification Service Amazon SNS. Option C. Amazon Kinesis Data Streams. Option D. Amazon Simple Queue Service Amazon SQS. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a company has a fleet of cargo ships. The cargo ships have sensors that collect data at sea where there is intermittent or no internet connectivity. The company needs to collect, format, and process the data at sea and move the data to AWS later. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. AWS IoT Core. Option B. Amazon Light Sail. Option C. AWS Storage Gateway. Option D. AWS Snowball Edge. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a user has limited knowledge of AWS services but wants to quickly deploy a scalable Node.js application in the AWS cloud. Which service should be used to deploy the application? Option A. AWS Cloud Formation. Option B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C. Amazon EC2. Option D. AWS OpsWorks. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company needs fully managed, highly reliable and scalable file storage that is accessible over the server message block SMB protocol. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon S3. Option B. Amazon Elastic File System Amazon EFS. Option C. Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. Option D. Amazon Elastic Block Store Amazon EBS. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a company is storing data that will not be frequently accessed in the AWS cloud. If the company needs to access the data needs to be retrieved within 12 hours. The company wants a solution that is cost effective for storage cost for each gigabyte. Which Amazon S3 storage class will meet these requirements? Option A. S3 Standard. Option B. S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval. Option C. S3 One Zone Infrequent Access S3 One Zone IA. Option D. S3 Standard Infrequent Access S3 Standard IA. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company needs to organize its resources and track AWS cost on a detailed level. The company needs to categorize cost by business department, environment, and application. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A. Access the AWS Cost Management Console to organize resources, set an AWS budget, and receive notifications of unintentional uses. Option B. Use tags to organize the resources. Activate cost allocation tags to track AWS cost on a detailed level. Option C. Create Amazon CloudWatch dashboards to visually organize and track cost individually. Option D. Access the AWS billing and cost management dashboard to organize and track resource consumption on a detailed level. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which AWS services or features provide high availability and low latency by enabling failover across different AWS regions? Choose two options. Option A, Amazon Route 53. Option B, Network Load Balancer. Option C, Amazon S3 Transfer Acceleration. Option D, AWS Global Accelerator. Option E, Application Load Balancer. Correct answer is option A and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which AWS service can a company use to securely store and encrypt passwords for a database? Option A, AWS Shield. Option B, AWS Secrets Manager. Option C, AWS Identity and Access Management IAM. Option D, Amazon Cognito. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a company wants to integrate its online shopping website with social media login credentials. Which AWS service can the company use to make this integration? Option A, AWS Directory Service. Option B, AWS Identity and Access Management IAM. Option C, Amazon Cognito. Option D, AWS IAM Identity Center AWS Single Sign-On. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company needs to migrate a post-GRE SQL database from on-premises to Amazon RDS. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet this requirement? Option A, Cloud Adoption Readiness Tool. Option B, AWS Migration Hub. Option C, AWS Database Migration Service AWS DMS. Option D, AWS Application Migration Service. Correct answer is option C. Question is, which task requires a user to sign in as the AWS account root user? Option A, the deletion of IAM users. Option B, the deletion of an AWS account. Option C, the creation of an organization in AWS organizations. Option D, the deletion of Amazon EC2 instances. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which guidelines is a well-architected design principle for building cloud applications? Option A, keep static data closer to compute resources. Option B, provision resources for peak capacity. Option C, design for automated recovery from failure. Option D, use tightly coupled components. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a solutions architect needs to maintain a fleet of Amazon EC2 instances so that any impaired instances are replaced with new ones. Which AWS service should the solutions architect use? Option A, Amazon Elastic Container Service Amazon ECS. Option B, Amazon Guard Duty. Option C, AWS Shield. Option D, AWS Auto Scaling. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which AWS service makes it easier to monitor and troubleshoot application logs and cloud resources? Option A, Amazon EC2. Option B, AWS Identity and Access Management IAM. Option C, Amazon CloudWatch. Option D, AWS CloudTrail. Correct answer is option B. Question is, which AWS service will help a company plan a migration to AWS by collecting the configuration, uses, and behavior data of on-premises data centers? Option A, AWS Resource Groups. Option B, AWS Application Discovery Service. Option C, AWS Service Catalog. Option D, AWS Systems Manager. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company is in the early stages of planning a migration to AWS. The company wants to obtain the monthly predicted total AWS cost of ownership for future Amazon EC2 instances and associated storage. Which AWS service or tools should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A, AWS Pricing Calculator. Option B, AWS Compute Optimizer. Option C, AWS Trusted Advisor. Option D, AWS Application Migration Service. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe.